Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably obsessed with finding amazing deals, and let me tell you, raw land can be an incredible opportunity. But, and this is a big but, there are some serious pitfalls you need to avoid. Trust me, I've learned these the hard way. You don't want to end up stuck with a piece of land that you can't use or that ends up costing you a fortune. So, in this video, I'm going to break down the top 10 things you absolutely need to look for before buying raw land. We're talking about the stuff that nobody else is telling you, the stuff that could save you thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars down the line. Whether you're thinking about building your dream home, creating a secluded getaway, or just diversifying your investment portfolio, these tips are going to be pure gold. So buckle up, smash that like button, and let's dive right in. All right, let's kick things off with the golden rule of real estate, and that's location. You've probably heard it a million times, but it's especially true when it comes to raw land. Think about it, a piece of land in a booming area with new developments popping up left and right is going to be worth significantly more than a similar piece of land in the middle of nowhere. But it's not just about the current value, it's about future potential. Is the area attracting new businesses? Are there plans for new roads or infrastructure? These are the kinds of things that can skyrocket your land's value over time. But here's the thing, you don't want to just rely on speculation. Do your research. Look at population growth trends, check out local development plans, and talk to real estate agents in the area. Get a feel for the direction the market is heading in. Remember, you're playing the long game here, so make sure you're investing in a location that's set for sustained growth. Okay, so you've found a piece of land with killer potential in an awesome location. But hold your horses, because zoning and land use regulations can make or break your dreams. Zoning laws determine what you can and can't do with your land. Want to build your dream home? Great, but is the land zoned residential? Planning on starting a farm? Make sure it's zoned for agricultural use. You'd be surprised how often people overlook this crucial step. They get their heart set on a property only to find out that their plans are totally incompatible with the zoning regulations. And trust me, getting those regulations changed, it's like pulling teeth. It's time-consuming, expensive, and there's no guarantee of success. So before you even think about making an offer, contact your local planning department or city hall. Get your hands on the zoning map, understand the regulations, and make absolutely sure that your vision aligns with what's allowed. All right, picture this. You found the perfect piece of land. It's secluded, it's serene, it's everything you've ever dreamed of. But there's a catch. There's no legal access to the property. Maybe it's surrounded by other private land, or maybe there's no road leading in. This, my friends, is what we call being landlocked. And let me tell you, it's a nightmare. Without legal access, you can't build on the land, you can't develop it, and you can't even easily enjoy it. You're essentially stuck with a piece of land that you can't use. So how do you avoid this disaster? It's simple. Check the access rights. Before you even think about making an offer, make sure there's a clear and legal right-of-way to the property. This could be a public road, a private road with easement rights, or even a driveway. Don't just take the seller's word for it. Get it in writing, get it verified, and make sure you understand exactly how you'll be accessing your land. Chapter 4, Utilities and Services, the hidden costs of raw land. Okay, let's talk about utilities. When you buy a house, you kind of expect things like water, electricity, and sewage to be, a given. But with raw land, it's a whole different ballgame. Often you're starting from scratch, and trust me, bringing in those utilities can be a major expense. We're talking thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the location and the distance from existing infrastructure. So before you get swept away by those beautiful views, do your homework. Contact the local utility companies and find out what it would take to get connected. Are there existing lines nearby? What are the connection fees? What about the ongoing costs? These are all things you need to factor into your budget, because let me tell you, getting hit with a massive utility bill after you've already purchased the land, that's not a fun surprise. Chapter 5, Topography and Soil, what lies beneath. All right, let's talk about the land itself. Because the topography and soil quality can have a huge impact on your plans. If you're dreaming of building a house, you don't want to find out later that your dream home would require extensive and expensive grading or foundation work. And if you're thinking about farming or gardening, well, the soil quality is everything. So how do you get the inside scoop? First off, visit the land and actually walk the property. Get a feel for the lay of the land. Are there any steep slopes, rocky outcroppings, areas that are prone to flooding? These are all things you need to be aware of, but don't stop there. Get a professional soil test done. This will tell you everything you need to know about the composition of the soil, its drainage capabilities, and its suitability for different uses. Trust me, a little bit of upfront investigation can save you a whole lot of headaches and expenses down the line. Chapter 6. Environmental restrictions. Mother Nature has a say. So, you found a piece of land that ticks all the boxes. Great location, perfect zoning, easy access. You're ready to sign on the dotted line, right? Not so fast. Because there's one more crucial factor to consider: environmental restrictions. Now, I'm all for protecting the environment, but sometimes these restrictions can really throw a wrench in your plans. We're talking about things like wetlands, floodplains, protected habitats for endangered species, you name it. If your land falls under any of these categories, it could severely limit what you're able to do with it. You might not be able to build in certain areas, you might have to follow strict environmental guidelines, or you might even have to abandon your plans altogether. So how do you avoid this potential pitfall? Easy research, research, research. Contact your local environmental agency or planning department and find out if there are any environmental restrictions on the land you're considering. Okay, folks, this next tip is all about protecting yourself, because when it comes to raw land, boundary disputes can turn into a real nightmare. Imagine this. You buy a piece of land, you start making plans, maybe even start clearing some trees, and then bam, your neighbor shows up with a survey that proves you've been encroaching on their property. Not a fun situation, right? That's why it's absolutely crucial to get a professional survey done before you buy. And I'm not talking about just relying on the old survey that the seller might have. Get your own up-to-date survey done by a licensed surveyor. This will clearly define the boundaries of the property, identify any easements or rights of way, and give you peace of mind knowing exactly what you're buying. Trust me, the cost of a survey is a drop in the bucket compared to the potential headaches and legal fees of a boundary dispute. All right, let's talk about money, because you don't want to get ripped off, right? One of the biggest mistakes people make when buying raw land is overpaying. They get caught up in the excitement, they fall in love with the property, and they end up paying way more than it's actually worth. So how do you avoid this costly mistake? By doing your market research. Look at comparable properties in the area. What have similar pieces of land sold for recently? What's the average price per acre? This will give you a good baseline for what you should be paying, and don't be afraid to negotiate. Remember, the seller wants to sell just as badly as you want to buy. So if you think the price is too high, don't be afraid to make a lower offer. The worst they can say is no, right? Okay, this next tip is all about thinking long term, because the value of your land isn't just determined by its current state, it's also influenced by what's happening around it. Are there any major developments planned for the area? New highways, shopping malls, residential subdivisions? These can all have a huge impact on the value of your land. On the flip side, are there any potential downsides? A landfill being built nearby, a factory that could pollute the air or water? These are all things you need to be aware of. So how do you find out what the future holds? Talk to the local planning department, attend city council meetings, and read up on any proposed developments in the area. The more informed you are, the better positioned you'll be to make a smart investment. Okay, let's talk about the not-so-fun part of owning land taxes and ongoing costs. Because owning land isn't just a one-time expense, there are ongoing costs that you need to factor into your budget. Property taxes are the big one, and these can vary widely depending on the location and the assessed value of your land. So make sure you get an accurate estimate of the property taxes before you buy, but that's not all. You might also have to pay for things like liability insurance, property maintenance, and any improvements you want to make. And if you're planning on developing the land, well, those costs can add up quickly. So before you jump in head first, make sure you have a clear understanding of all the ongoing costs involved in owning your land, because the last thing you want is to be caught off guard by unexpected expenses. And there you have it, the top 10 things to look for when buying raw land or acreage. I hope you found these tips helpful. Remember, buying raw land can be an amazing investment, but it's crucial to do your due diligence. Don't rush into anything, ask lots of questions, and make sure you're completely comfortable with the risks involved. If you do your homework, you can find some incredible deals and set yourself up for massive success in the future. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more real estate advice, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. Drop any questions or comments below, and thanks for watching.